Okay, so we've all heard the questions to ponder, like, why do you park on a driveway but drive on a parkway? You know, things like that. I call them jackassy questions, but those questions do have answers, and we're about to give them to you. Why do you drive on a parkway but park on a driveway? First off, these terms predate cars. A parkway is a wide road through a park, hence parkway, and a driveway is a thoroughfare that connects a property to a road. You're not supposed to park on a driveway, that's what a garage is for, or a carport if that's what you've got. If 7-Eleven is open 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, why are there locks on the front doors? This is in case of civil unrest, or if they're robbed. They lock the store after the robber leaves as to preserve the crime scene and keep the robber from returning. This, of course, is if the clerk is still alive. If nothing sticks to Teflon, how do they make Teflon stick to the pan? Because Teflon sticks to Teflon, so they sandblast the pan, spray a layer of Teflon that gets in all the little bitty teeny tiny holes made by the sand, then spray another layer on top, which is then baked in, fusing the two layers of Teflon together. Why? Wow, that's a bad Bill Cosby. Oh crap, I can't do Bill Cosby. Why do they put Braille dots on keypads of drive-up ATMs? Because they put them on the buttons for the walk-up ATMs, and it's just cheaper to use one type of keypad rather than two. If a black box is made of material that's indestructible, why don't they make the whole plane out of it? Okay, so black boxes, which are flight recorders that tend to survive crashes because they're made to. You know what's not made to survive a crash? Humans. If we made a plane out of the same material that was capable of flight, and that plane crashed, everybody on board will still probably die. I mean, let's be honest here. I don't care what the plane is made of. If you hit the side of a mountain at 200 miles an hour, you ain't walking away from that. Also, you probably noticed that the black box there isn't black, but they used to be, and the term just kinda stuck. Why aren't there parachutes under plane seats? Kinda connected to the last one, they're both about planes, but this one is because you're too high up to just jump out because the oxygen is too thin. I mean, you could jump out of the plane with a parachute, but you can't pull a cord if you pass out from oxygen deprivation. Plus, there's a lot of variables that goes into parachuting and skydiving, and it's best that we not just let the general public try it out as a screw it, they're gonna die anyway type solution. If pro is the opposite of con, is progress the opposite of Congress? Yes, dear sweet merciful Jesus, yes. Is the color orange called that because it's the color of the fruit, or was the fruit called orange because that's its color? We actually made a video about that a while back, and it doesn't have a whole lot of views, so yeah, we're gonna make you click on that. Why is it called a TV set if you only get one? Because TVs back in the tube days were a set of devices, you know, receiver, preamp, amp, tube, all that good stuff, within a single cabinet. Today, they're all still made of many of the same components, just smaller versions that are typically integrated together. Why is a pear called a pear when there's only one? Because pear comes from pera, which is Germanic and roots back to Greek and means fruit. And the other pear is Middle French and roots back to Latin, so different language origins. And the latter pair means equal, by the way. Why did kamikaze pilots wear helmets? Well, first, they didn't wear helmets, they wore leather caps. Helmets are pretty much useless in plane crashes and are primarily used protection-wise to keep the head from hitting the inside of the cockpit during maneuvers. Okay, so why wear leather caps then? Well, in case they crash or were called off before making it to their target, but mostly because a lot of them flew with open cockpits for better vision. And they wore the leather caps to keep their heads warm and to keep them from going deaf from the engines. If you choke a Smurf, what color does it turn? Purple. It would turn purple. Next question there, Gargamel. What was the best thing before sliced bread? That would be wrapped bread. See, the origin of the phrase best thing since sliced bread is this advertisement from Otto Rohwider of Davenport, Iowa, who invented the first commercial use bread slicer. And as the tagline says, the greatest forward step in the baking industry since bread was wrapped. So yeah, the answer is wrapped bread. And I'm sorry, an unsliced loaf of white bread just does not look right. How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? A woodchuck all the wood a woodchuck could chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood. I mean, come on now. If everything always requires a number 2 pencil, why isn't it number 1? because the number system for pencils has to do with the hardness and darkness of the lead, rated 1 through 4. The higher you go, the harder and lighter. Number 2 is just the easiest for Scantron readers to pick up. Is there another name for a thesaurus? Yeah, I'm going with word book on this one. If there's a tourist season, why aren't you allowed to hunt them? I honestly don't know. Probably money or something.